Hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Nicola and I'm the one of the regional managers at the University of Plymouth. So what I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about the city, a bit about the university, and then courses, and then also some activities you can do while you're in Plymouth. If you see here, you've got the map of the UK. So typically from Kathmandu, you would fly into London, which would be London Heathrow. And then from there, you can get a direct train or bus right down to the southwest of the UK, which is Plymouth here. So it's around 3.5 hours by train. If you see the university here, you can see that we're right in the middle of the city centre. And the main train station is just over here, which is about 5 minutes walk. So it's very, very convenient. Okay. Good thing about Plymouth is the cost of living is quite low, especially compared with other places in the UK. It's probably because of partly location. You can see where we are. All the accommodation is either on campus or nearby, and everything is also walkable. And the accommodation is, especially if you don't do university accommodation, is significantly cheaper than other cities. One nice thing, I'll show you some pictures here, is we're right on the sea. So if you see, this is the ocean just here, Britain's ocean city. So if you see here, this is the university. Just at the back there in the purple, that's the main train station. And then this here is the city centre and the main shopping area. So really you just cross the road, okay? Just here is part of the, we call the student village. So it's all of the student accommodation. Just down here, you can see right there, that's where we hold our graduations. That's called the Hoe. And then this here is part of the old part of Plymouth called the Barbican. So Plymouth is a mixture of old and new as well. So it is a historic city. If you like the water, great place to be. So you can see just here at the back, that's the ferries, and those are the ferries that go over to France and to Spain. And then in here, this is all the area where loads of water sports go on, and fishing boats and tour boats. So lots of things to do in the water. In terms of the programme structure, it's fairly standard for the UK. So if you need a foundation year, then that would be what we call the year 0. And then the courses would be 3 years. I'll show you a slide a bit later, which mentions about work placement. So the vast majority of our courses have an optional work placement. So that means that you would do 2 years of study. Then you've got a placement year there, which is paid. You probably earn around 20,000 for the year. And then you come back for your final year there. And then if you want to do the masters, that would be another 1 year there. Okay. Okay, next slide here. So in terms of the courses, I'll just show you a couple so you can see the kind of areas that we do. We do a lot of architecture, so and things related to buildings, so surveying, architecture, which is the REBA course. On the art side, there's fine arts, design, digital arts, lots on the biological. In the business school, so most popular courses, because we're on the sea, would relate to shipping, logistics, port management, but also courses like marketing, general business, international business, for example. Chemistry, there's computing there, which includes robotics. On the engineering side, we do mechanical, civil, coastal, electrical. That's undergrad, postgrad, education. Lots of international students as well. It's very popular. This is all like the hospitality, tourism and events management, and then humanities courses as well. If anyone's interested in, on the medical side, then we do have a course related, you can see here, nursing, midwifery, and all the different related allied health professions. We train doctors, dentists, we've got education courses as well. So this will be in this school here, which is medicine, dentistry, and the biological sciences. One of our premier courses here, it's marine, obviously, so we're on the sea. So many specialist courses there related to everything related to sea, like coastal engineering, marine biology, marine conservation. So that's we're probably the best in the country, in the UK, for those courses. Okay. So this will tell you just a little bit about the work placement, as I mentioned before. So you would do 2 years worth of study, and then you've got the option of the 1 year work placement. Okay. You can do those in the UK. You can also do them overseas. They're monitored by our lecturers. So we would come along, make sure you're not making the tea and coffee, you're doing what you should be doing. And then at the end of that course, you will have the 1 year work placement, you'll have a project to do, which will be marked by the tutors, and then you'll have a certificate as well. So as I said, they're optional, but they're probably a very good idea, because you get 1 year work experience, you get something on your CV. And also many of our students are then employed later on by the companies where they've done the work placement. So it's a very good way of, if you want to stay in the UK afterwards to work, then I would recommend taking a work placement. On campus, we also have the English Language Centre. So I know from Nepal, we will take you just with your, you won't probably need the pre-sessional, but it's offered if you'd like to do that. The school also has, it offers in-sessional programs. So anything you want to do, really, you can sign up for the courses that run all year, they're all free. Anything to do with, say, writing, grammar, pronunciation. You can also arrange a one-to-one as well with one of the tutors. If you've got a particularly difficult assignment and you're struggling with it, then please use that service. So it's a very nice, friendly team there. This is for the foundation year. So these are all pathways that run through. If you need a foundation year, you can see here from high school. As long as you pass the foundation year, then you're guaranteed a place on any of our degree programs, as long as, and these here, as you can see, are the pathways that go through to the undergraduate programs. If you look here at academic fees and living expenses, so tuition fee here for undergraduate would be 13,800 for the one each year, and then 14,000 for the postgraduate. In terms of your UK visa, you need to show you have just over about £1,000 a month to live on. As I said, in Plymouth, you find that they're noticeably cheaper than, depending on your lifestyle really, but they're going to be noticeably cheaper than many other parts of the UK. Right then, so accommodation, very, very easy, lots of it, don't worry about it. We have here what we say on-campus accommodation. We call them halls of residence. So the average cost of those would be 100 to around £140 a week. They're all single rooms, most have their own bathrooms, they're all fully equipped. They're all either on campus or within 5 minutes walk. Off campus, lots and lots of it. You can see here the map, and you can see we've got like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So the majority of this off-campus accommodation is going to be kind of 10, maximum 15 minutes walk to the university, and that's going to be considerably cheaper for you. If you're coming to do postgrad, then I'm going to recommend that you probably do off-campus accommodation. The reason for that is that the halls of residence tend to be full of undergraduates, and they're very, very nice, but they tend to be a bit noisier. So if you want something quieter, then the off-campus accommodation would work. This is our student support. So you can see here, this is in the Careers and Employability Hub. So they do lots of things. When you come to the UK, you'll need to open a bank account, register with a doctor, with a dentist. You might want advice on your visa. So the lovely team of people there who will help you. In the same area here, you've got the Careers and Employability Hub. So if you want to work, you can work up to a maximum of 20 hours a week while you're studying. We also have companies that come in, and they will be employing our graduates as well. In the hub there, if you want help with your CV, then they will do that for you, and they will also help you with any interview training that you need. Good. How to apply? Well, use the lovely dolphin. Lots of things to do. They will certainly help you. also help you with the application, as well. And there are many ways to do it. You can apply through UCAS. There's only a couple of courses, which is medicine and dentistry, that must go through UCAS. Everything else, then you can apply directly through to us, through Dolphin, for undergraduate and postgraduate studies. So student union, lots and lots of things to do. About 4 years ago, we were voted the best university in the UK for student life. I think that's because we've got the student union, which is run by students, for students. So you have over 50 different sports clubs, anything really you want to do, you can do. We've got an Olympic-sized swimming pool you can use for free. We've got our own yachts, which is unique if you want to learn sailing, but also the usual teams as well, the football, basketball, rugby, or surfing, anything really. And then many, many different student societies as well. There is a Nepalese society, which you can join. It's not that big, but they have some really lovely events. I can hear someone. Okay, so some links here as well if you want to have a look at the website. Obviously, Dolphin can help you with the entry requirements. They know what we require. You can have a look there on the website, how to apply. English Language Centre, that's going to show you all of the offerings and the free support and also the requirements. The scholarships links here. We have scholarships for undergraduates and postgraduates, not all of the courses, but please do inquire about those. They're going to range from around £2,000 up to a maximum of 50%, okay, of your fees for 1 year. And then also here, if you want to just have a look at the student profiles. So this is students who are studying with us, and they'll be talking about their life, their courses, what they do, what they enjoy. Okay. Good. Raoul, is there anything else you'd like me to add? You need to unmute, Raoul.
Sorry about that. So do you mind also telling our students about the sandwich courses which are available from the Plymouth in the undergraduate? So how the sandwich courses are designed for the undergraduate students in the courses that are offered from Plymouth.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll just take you back to the slide. Cool. Yeah, well, this one is on the work placement. If you're doing the undergraduate course, we know that they're typically 3 years long. So what you will do, first of all, is you'll study for 2 years, and then you'll do the work placement in the 3rd year. And then you come back for your final year, year 3, but then you would have been in the UK for 4 years. We have work placements which are organised by the university, and we will also, well, you can visit the work placement team, talk about it, okay? You will still have to be interviewed, okay? So the work placements are not guaranteed. It will be, you'll be going up against other applicants for each of those. Many students also find their own work placement. So as a companies, and you can go to the Careers and Employability Hub, and then they will have a list of the companies where we're linked. You can do it in, obviously, in Plymouth, but our students do it all over the UK. They'll travel and they'll move. Some of them also do it overseas. So we do have some links overseas as well. And then that's absolutely fine. If we can, we'll also come out to see you overseas, depending on travel. Yeah, as I said, they're not guaranteed. You're not just shadowing, you are doing real work. You've got real projects, real responsibilities. The pay will vary. Not all of them are paid, but I would say probably about 90% of them will be paid. And from that payment, you'll lose, as I said before, you'll usually earn maybe 18 to 20,000 British pounds for that year. So you should be able to save from that, I think.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it is good. Yeah, I mean, if you're careful with accommodation, you know, you might spend 10, but then you've got 8,000 towards, which will most certainly cover your living expenses, you
That's
know,
right.
your year. Yeah. So we don't make them compulsory. kind of wish when I did my undergrad, because it's quite difficult when you're applying for a job but you haven't got much work experience. So it's a great thing to say on your CV. I've done this, I've worked with that. You'll get a reference from the employer, you'll have your certificate at the end of the work placement. So yeah, it's a very good offer, actually. It's very good.
Thank you, Nikki. Okay, so there's one question from Mr. Kailas Pandey. I'd like to ask you a question. I've just unmuted him. Kailas, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I hear you.
Yeah, you may ask a question to Nicola.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Kailas. I'm from Nepal. I just want to know that I studied my bachelor degree from management faculty, and I got 51% overall on my fourth-year program nation, and I got overall 6 in the IELTS, not less than 5.5. And I'm just looking for MSc account or finance related course. Can I eligible for applying in your college?
Yes. Sorry, did you could you just say the course that you were interested in on the postgrad? I didn't quite hear that.
Ma'am, it MSc in finance or account related course.
Yes, fine. Yes. We have an MSc in finance.
Yeah.
Typically, you'd need an IELTS of 6.5.
Ma'am, I got only 6 overall in the IELTS.
Okay, if you've got 6 on the oral, if you've got 6.5 overall, that's fine. Your other option is we're accepting the Duolingo. And I think that we require 95 on the Duolingo, and you'd be able to take that as well. And then I think there's 2 courses. There's the MSc in finance, and then there's also, I think, an MSc in accounting as well. So yeah, 2 different options for you.
Ma'am, just one last question. I scored only 51%, which is maybe 2.2 British honor degree in the British system.
Okay.
That I can apply for directly master, or I have to apply firstly pre-master and then master course?
If you've got the equivalent of a 2.2, then you should be accepted. Okay. If there is a problem, don't worry about it. Talk to Dolphin, and I also know the program lead on that, so I think we can help you with it. Okay. Typically, we would require a 2.1, but I think if it's a 2.2, Kailash, do you have any work experience at all?
Yeah, ma'am. I work 3 months on the reputed bank, just A-class bank in our nation, and I also work maybe 6 or 7 months as a junior accountant. That's it. Cool. And recently, the COVID crisis, and that's we're just in home.
Okay, fantastic. On your application, can you make sure you mention that? Because I think that's really important, and that will be invaluable, especially for the application and the acceptance on that. So I would have said, yes, please do apply. I can't see a problem with that.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, Kailash. Nikki, there was a nice question from him. He said he's not eligible with the IELTS score. Can you please also tell our students about the IELTS waiver that is applied if they apply from Dolphin to the Plymouth University?
Yeah, obviously taking IELTS at the moment is a bit of a nightmare, but if you can take the Duolingo, which is available online, and as long as you have 95 in that, then we will accept you onto the undergraduate programs. On the other link, obviously at the moment with we've had to adapt quite a lot, I think, with the English language requirement. So I'm just going to go back to this slide here. If you look here where it says English language requirements, now that particular link, that will see the most up-to-date advice on all the different language tests that we take. Because in the last 6 months, obviously, we've added in about 10 new different tests so that everyone's got the opportunity, because most IELTS centres were closed and people just couldn't take it. So that would be the link to look through just there.
How about the IELTS waiver on basis of 12th English?
That's fine. That's okay for undergraduate. As long as you have that, yeah, and you've got the Nepalese certificate, then IELTS is waived.
There's one question from Sandesh. I'm trying to unmute him. So he's asking, what is the scholarship available in public health? I'm assuming it's for masters.
I would have to check that because not all schools take part, and it would be lovely if the faculties made it easy for me and it was the same for every school and every faculty, okay? Which it isn't. I would need to, I'll just write that, I'll make a note of that. I'll check on the public health. Some of them are quite generous, like for example, at the moment, the engineering, rather than giving scholarships, they've just lowered the fees for this year. Psychology gives some amazing scholarships. From the top of my head, I'd need to check that, Raoul, sorry, okay?
Yeah,
so we'll
fine.
get back to you on that. Okay.
I will take a question from Ms. Pooja Bandari. Yes, she's asking what are the courses available for botany students. She has completed her master's in botany. So what courses can she apply?
She's completed a master's in botany?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, sir. I have completed bachelor in botany.
You've written
Okay.
MSc?
Yes, I need to know the courses for MSc in botany.
Oh, okay.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay, if you can still see the screen. Under here, if we're looking for the courses, and I'm looking at postgraduate taught, okay. Lots of them here will be probably related to things like biological, for example. Okay, so things related, we can see here, these are the ones that we do related to it. Okay.
You're not able to see the courses.
Ah, you can't see it. Okay, fine. What I'm looking at here is I'm going onto the main university website. So we do courses, for example, with related to zoo conservation. We do sustainable aquaculture. We do applied marine sciences. We do an MRes in marine biology. Okay, so these are all courses that are related to that particular field.
Hi Pooja, can you please share your profile with Nikki so that she can give you an alternate course for botany?
Yes. Do you have food and nutrients?
Nutrition.
Yes,
Food and
yes,
nutrition.
yeah, yes, we do. Yes, we do. We do a course, we do dietetics, okay, which is related to food and nutrition, okay.
Can I apply for that?
Yes, there is another one that would go to a different one, but with your background, yeah, as long as you've studied courses related to biology, then you would be eligible to apply for that particular course.
Okay, ma'am.
He is the placement for that course.
Not at the masters, no, no. The places and the sandwich courses will usually just will refer to the undergraduate programs.
Okay, so she can apply for that food and nutrition.
Yes, yes, yes.
So Sandesh is asking, what are the courses available in public health or related for UG level undergraduate?
Okay. Won't be a minute. Okay. Related to health, at the undergraduate level, we have different kinds of nursing. So we do adult, child, mental health. We have a BSc in health and fitness, for example. We have related to health also the food and nutrition and dietetics. This one here, the BSc Nutrition, Exercise and Health. Okay. There's other courses related to health, so things like podiatry, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, optometry, social work, a BSc in critical care as well. So those are the sort of allied health professional courses, as well as the BSc in biomedical sciences.
I hope that answers your questions on this. Nikki, can you also please let us know the criteria for that scholarship which you told us, so that a student can get up to 50% of scholarship. So what is the exact criteria for the Nepalese student?
It's the same for everyone really with the 50%. It's really related to academic excellence. So it depends on the school, but most of them will offer it, where if you, say we ask you to get 65%, obviously the entry requirements for each course does vary, and then you get 70%, then typically you would get an automatic 2,000, okay, discount from your fees. We then have some really exceptional students where they've just got very, very good degrees, okay, and this is available for the postgraduate level. And what we ask you to do, it's closed at the moment for this year. So it was at, I think mid-July was the closing. We ask students to send us their transcripts, and then also they need to write to us about what they're doing and why we should give them the scholarship. What we then do in the international office, we will look at the grades and the letters, and then we send them off to the different faculties for recommendations about who we think they should be awarding the 50% scholarship to. So it will go over things like anything to do with the science or the engineering or the business, for example. This year I was quite pleased because my link is with the business school. So I put forward 8 people because their grades were amazing, really good, and a couple that were borderline. And they said yes to all of them. So that was quite good.
50%.
Then also, that's a 50% discount for the postgraduate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is it for the first year? First year?
Well, postgrad's only 1 year. So it would be the 50% of the fees for the...
How about for UG?
The UG, it varies on each different faculty. If you have a look at the link that I showed you before to the scholarships, then it will outline the different offers, okay? That each particular school are offering. So, for example, in the business school, as I said, if you're, and I think also in science and engineering, that they have an offer on most of the courses where, again, if we ask you to get, say, 65% and you get 70%, then we would give you a 2,000 discount, okay, on the first year of study. If you then continue to do really well and to keep your grades really high, then we give you that again for your second year fees. Again, if you do really well, then you would have that discount again. So we'd expect you to keep up those grades all through those 3 years.
Is there also a bachelor's in physiotherapy available?
Sorry?
Physiotherapy.
Yes, there is. Yes. There's a BA physiotherapy, and then we also do a master's. It's called Advanced Professional Practice. And then that master's will go through, there are different pathways on that. So physiotherapy, dietetics, healthcare, all of those. So yes, the BSc in physiotherapy is there. Yeah, if you're looking for anything related to that, if you just look at the School of Health Professions, then all of those allied health courses will pop up for you. You'll see what they do.
Students, you may ask any more questions. If you may have, you can write in chat box, or alternatively, you can unmute yourself and directly ask to Nikki. Can you tell us about the offer letter time duration taken for both undergraduate and postgraduate right now?
Sorry, Val, can you repeat that?
The time taken for the offer letter for undergraduate courses and postgraduate.
The time taken?
Yeah.
For undergraduate, it's normally fairly automatic, so it should be with you within a few weeks. For postgraduate, because that needs to go to the program manager, those are the people who will accept them onto the postgrad, that can take a little bit longer.
Right.
Okay.
And what is the deadline for the CAS letter?
Usually about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. 2 to 3 weeks. I believe there isn't any credibility interview.
No, we don't ask for that. What we will do with the CAS is that when things done, we ask you then to pay the deposit, and then we will send you the pre-CAS checklist. Once you've completed all of that, then we will send you the CAS straight through to apply for the visa.
And what is the class commencement date for the September intake?
Sorry, what is the
Class commencement? When does the class starts for the students starting their classes in September, October?
Usually the students would come around about the beginning of September, and they would come for the orientation. Okay. However, this year we're going to do the orientation online, so we've pushed back. There is an option as well with some of the business courses. We're obviously getting into difficulty because there aren't many flights running. Okay, so we are making an offer for some of the courses where they can do them online. We would expect them to come, but if they've been studying for this semester only, if you're studying online and then you turn up later, then we will probably still accept you. There are some exceptions to this, which normally relate to more of the science programs, and that's because right from the beginning, you're doing lab work, and obviously with that you can't pick it up. Okay, just to be aware of that. But I can send you through a list, Raoul, which shows you all of the courses where you have the option of either studying online for semester 1 or arriving late. And then we also have a list of January starts. So some of the courses you can start in September, but also now there's also a list of courses that we have the offer of you studying in starting in January.
And what if the student decides to start in September for the physical classes, and but they are not able to resume the classes on time? So what about the extension? What is the maximum extension granted by the university?
The maximum, it would depend on the course. The business courses are quite flexible because they will be able to access all of that online and come later. So if you're coming in, say, October, November, that's absolutely fine. For some of the more science-based courses, as I said, you're going to have to be there by mid-September, because the first few weeks of the course, we're throwing you directly into lab work. Okay, so I can't, I'm really sorry, I can't give you a definitive answer because it varies on each of the courses, I'm afraid.
Okay. How about the accommodation? Like, how is it arranged accommodation in the current situation? Is it like, especially the UK government has announced for the quarantine period that they have to stay for 14 days. So how is it for the on-campus accommodation for the students?
The on-campus accommodation for the first 2 weeks while you will need to quarantine, it's free. Okay.
It's for free for every student.
Yeah. Yeah, for every international student, because you have no choice. So for the on-campus accommodation, the first two, we can't charge you when we're kind of locking you up kind of thing. So the first 2 weeks will be free. And then after that, then you can stay. There's the on-campus university accommodation. There's also, we've put in lots of safety measures there, for example, so students are more spread out in terms of the kitchens and everything else. There's also some very good private providers in Plymouth, like Unite and Clever Student Lets, and they're doing exactly the same. All right, there's things like extra cleaning regime, spreading the students out more, making sure that the people going to quarantine are in there all in the same time, for example. But yeah, if you need to come over and quarantine, then the first 2 weeks are free for you.
What are the accommodation available? Because before this pandemic, the 5-6 students used to stay together in a small flat and something like that. So what are the changes now it's been made on campus accommodation, and what are all the options that are given to the students now?
You'll have just fewer students in each particular flat, is how it's going to work. Okay.
So does that minimize the number of the students that can apply for the accommodation on campus, or it's still the same? So how's it arranged for the new students?
There is generally each year we always have spare rooms. The accommodation is just never full, so it's not been a problem to space more people out, and also to have fewer students in that accommodation. So it's fine. Yeah, as I said before, when the accommodation, there's just tons of it. There's tons of it. There's the university accommodation. There's also the private providers. There's the you can see here also all the off-campus private accommodation. So there's loads of it, absolutely loads. I think also if you're planning to come in sort of September, October, because quite a few of our international students are planning to study online for the first semester, then you're going to have even more choice available to you. I'd also advise you probably, if you're going to do the off-campus accommodation, there's a lot of it, and if you have got a group of 4 or 5 students who are sharing together, then I think you might even be able to strike quite a good deal with the landlord or the owner of the property. I think they'll want to fill it. So I would, why not? It's always worth asking, I think.
Can you please also tell our students how is it like to live in Plymouth, how the student life there, the part-time works, and the work during the vacations? So how is it all living in Plymouth?
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. You've got the city is around 300,000 people, so you've got everything that a city really needs. You've got the largest sports complex outside of London. Is there with all the playing fields. That's for the local people, but also the university, and you can use that for free as well at certain times. If you like anything to do with the water, in, on or under the water, then I think we can certainly provide that for you. So the widest range of anything, water sports or swimming or diving, canoeing, windsurfing, for example. With the arts, we've got, again, the largest regional theatre called the Theatre Royal outside of London, and the arts scene is quite big. The nice thing about Theatre Royal, there's actually 2 theatres there that many of the top London shows, before they go to London, they need to kind of try them out and get them right. So they put them on in Plymouth. And then rather than paying £100, if you go to London, you'll be paying about 20. So that's a really good deal. So especially Theatre Royal, you'll see there it's things, it's it's plays. There's another big music event, comedy events, comedy clubs, for example. So I think culturally, you're fairly well served. There are 2 very, very large cinema complexes. One right in the city centre and one just slightly more towards the old part in the Barbican. They're all big multi-screens, and they've got bowling. I think there's even indoor golf there, which is quite fun. So lots of different options. I would also, as I said, look at the student union, because you've got, as I said, over 100 different clubs and societies for you to join. Some of them are cultural. So as I said, there's a Nepalese society, there's an Islamic society, there's a Chinese society. Some are related to a particular subject area. So For example, there's an engine. If you want to study engineering, there's an engineering society. They'll invite speakers in. They organise events, and then some are just for fun. So weird things like there's a baking society, there's a Harry Potter society. There's all of those things that people do. So I think certainly look at societies. There'll be a good way then to meet people from well, other countries, doing other courses in different years. And then I think probably the people you meet when you join a society are the ones that you'll probably stay friends with for life, because you've got those common interests, really. That's certainly been the case with me anyway. So the friends that I've kept from uni are really from doing the different clubs and societies that I played around with. It's good fun.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you've got everything in the city. If you want to get out to the countryside, it's very easy. We've got Dartmoor National Park. It's one of the largest national parks in the UK. That's free. You can get a bus out there, and the beginning of the park is only about 20 minutes by bus. Really, really beautiful. Then you've also got the ocean to go to. So I think you've got everything in the city, and then you've got everything on the ocean, and then also you've got the national park. So you've got the city and the countryside. It's very, very easy to play really with both of them. Yeah.
Is the weather any different in Plymouth with the rest of the England? So is it equally the cold and the rain?
It's a little bit different. If I just bring back the map for you, just here. Okay, if you can see the map, the further north you go, the colder it's going to get in the winter. Okay, up here. So up here up in Scotland, it can be quite cold. Because we're on the sea, then obviously the weather is tempered because it's a maritime climate. So you'll find that, well, it's rather beautiful actually at the moment. It's really, really, I wish I could show you. I wish I could show you the sky at the moment. It's really lovely. So the summer, you've probably got an average of around 21 degrees in the summer. And then in the winter, you've got an average of around anything between 8 and 12 degrees centigrade. Okay, so it doesn't really snow, very, very rarely. I can't say never, because I always said never. And then 2 years ago, we had loads of snow, but it's very, very rare. Okay, so if you look at this again, this part, you see here, the west of the UK, the weather comes that way. So this bit tends to be a little bit wetter. And the further south you go, obviously, the more you're tempered by the sea, and it's warmer. Okay, so yeah, it's quite nice, really. It's quite a nice climate. I'm from London. So, yeah.
Oh, that's really nice compared to London, the weather especially.
Yeah, I mean, in London at the moment, you're going to find it's going to be very, very hot. It's going to be hot because the weather is very hot, because it's more inland, really. Yeah. So the weather down here is all, in the middle. Nice.
What are the difficulties, if any, faced by the students right now to find the part-time job, especially during this difficult times? So you must be in contact with the students, international students, yeah, to be precisely.
It's difficult to give an answer to that actually, Raoul, at the moment, because quite a few of them have gone home and then they were finishing their courses online. And then the few that were here, obviously, if we can't work, then they can't work. For example, things are now opening up, for example, so things like the restaurants, the bars, the cafes are open. Most of the hotels are now back open. And then also later on, the university does employ some students as student ambassadors that we need for different events. And also to do, we normally in the international office have a part-time student with us as well. So in terms of how that will be in sort of September, October, I'm not sure. I'm really, really not sure. We don't know. Just got no idea how it's going to be.
No problem. There's a question from Sandesh, is asking something. So it says, suppose I have a student visa for only 4 years after completion of undergraduate course. If I want to apply for postgraduate, what will be the solution for me to apply visa for postgraduate level?
I think it should be okay, because I think usually I think you're allowed 5 years, are you not? So if you've done 4 years in the UK, I think you have another. And if you've done the undergrad and then you show progression onto a master's, then I think that should be okay.
Yeah.
I can check that with, we have the UK VI compliance manager. So if Raoul, if you want to just get the dates and when they started and how long and what, then I'll check that with our compliance team.
Can you please also explain with regards to the PSW, the graduation immigration route?
Sorry, can you repeat that for me?
The PSW, which is announced to be implemented from 2021 summer.
The PhD?
PSW, the graduation immigration route.
Okay. I'm not allowed to give advice on that. I'm not allowed to. I think that basically I'm not actually allowed to legally. The best thing to do will be to look at the British Embassy link to that. So they don't allow us to. They don't allow us to give advice on that. But technically, it's way more relaxed, and I believe that with certain conditions, you can stay and work in the UK for a couple of years after you've graduated. But they do change the rules and regulations quite often, so just make sure you check on the embassy link, if that's okay.
How about the facilities for the sandwich courses, like the employability team and all that?
Okay. Within each faculty, you will have a placement team there, okay? And then if you want to do the work placement, you would go and visit them, you would talk to them, they would arrange, you can look at the different opportunities and the work placements that are available, and then also from them get information on the companies and the type of jobs that they have on offer. In the employability hub, I'd advise go to visit them because they will help you with the interview techniques, because you'll need to be interviewed for the application, and then they'll also help you with getting your CV up to date and looking as professional as it can with the issues. So I think there are those not only within the school and the faculty. Also, I'd probably recommend when you join, you have a course tutor, and I would also recommend talking to your course tutor, because they often have their own links as well with different companies and different employers, for example. So those would be the different options. If you go to the employability hub, that's in the main university building, they have a list there of vacancies. So they will be vacancies for local employment, also for students, and then they'll also advertise jobs as well for companies in there. And again, there's a team of people there to talk you through the process.
Yes, overall, students are properly guided by the team in order to get a placement, both for undergrad during placement year and after the completion of course. Yeah,
absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So you've got support with that for finding the work placement. And then, as I said, there's also the team of people there. If you're looking at after your postgraduate studies to stay in the UK, then the team of people there will help you with the process. Also within the faculty, then I'd recommend your course tutors will also assist you with that.
Right. And is there any changes with regards to the pickup and drop service that used to be earlier from the university, or is it the same for this intake as well?
I believe it's the same. That on the pickup, usually on certain days, then we arrange to pick you up, and it's for free from Heathrow, okay, which will be on, as I said, just on certain days. Otherwise, actually from Heathrow, it's easy to get down to Plymouth. You just need to get the Heathrow Express to Paddington. You go over to the other platform, and then you're on the direct line then from London into Plymouth. Actually, from Heathrow as well, there are what we call National Express coaches, and they are, well, 10 minutes walk really from the airport. And then you can go and pick up the bus. And again, they come directly down to Plymouth. The bus station is about 5 minutes walk, 5-10 minutes walk from the university. It's really close.
There was one question from me. The sandwich year, which is in the third year for the undergraduate student, is there any study abroad options as well in place of sandwich year, or is it only the sandwich year?
No, you can study abroad as well. Yes, yes.
So what are the options for the students in that, and what is the criteria exactly?
You would need to get certain grades, and then if there is a team, and that's based within a part of the university called Plymouth Global, then we have links with universities all over the world. So if you want to take, that would typically be your second year, okay? So normally if you study on an undergraduate course, you would study for 1 year with us, and then in your second year, you would then go on a student exchange for 1 year in your second year, and then you would come back for your final year.
So that's in place of the placement, or it comes with the placement?
You could do both, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, you could do both. You could do, how that would work is you would do 1 year with us, then you would do your second year on an exchange. So wherever you want to do it, US or Canada or wherever. And then you could, year 3, you could do a work placement for 1 year. Be aware that you might get into some difficulties with being interviewed, but you know, now everyone's working remotely, so I wouldn't think it's a problem. And then you would come back to Plymouth for your final year.
Wow, that's a really nice opportunity for the UG students. They can do
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. You can do it all actually. Yeah, sure.
There's one question from Sanul. I'm not sure what she's trying to say. I've unmuted her. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Good morning, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Hello. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How can I help?
First, I would like to thanks for this wonderful session of this from the Plymouth University. Ma'am, actually, I want to know that currently I am pursuing course of Doctor of Pharmacy. That is 6-year course based on the pharmacy.
Okay.
So I want to look for further studies in the UK. So for what course I can go to? Is there is a OSAP course in this university?
We don't do pharmacy, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay, okay. So I just want to ask you for what course I can just move through. Can I go to the public health? Masters in public health.
Yes, certainly with that background, yes.
Okay. So what would be the criteria for that?
You would need to get the equivalent of a 2-1 degree.
Okay.
To apply, and
Okay.
then you would need to send us your transcripts so that we can see that you've studied if you've done pharmacy, I'm sure it's fine, but they would just look at the transcripts and the subject areas that you've studied.
Okay.
And you would need that with the application process along with your passport, and you'd need an IELTS or an IELTS equivalent of 6.5.
Okay. 6.5 in each that circumstance, right? That in.
Yeah, or the equivalent, of. If you just go on the website and you just look at the English language requirements, there's lots of other English language exams.
Can I do Duolingo? That's I think a new course. I can do that.
Yes, of course you can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, okay. And this Masters in Public Health is for 2 years, and is there is internship included with it?
No, it's just 1 year. And no,
Okay.
there's not an internship. No, not on that one.
Only 1 year of Masters. Okay.
I hope that answers your questions. If you have any query, please drop in your number and we shall call you later.
And what about the fees and funding, ma'am? Sorry, but what about the fees and funding about for Masters of Public
For the
Health?
masters, yeah, the fees for masters would be 14,800 for the 1 year of study.
Okay.
Someone else was asking about the scholarships
Yeah.
earlier, and as I said, for public health, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'd need to check that just to see
For
if they
sure.
do. Yeah, I mean, I know some of them available for, you know, more like science and engineering and business, but I would just need to check to see if we do have any scholarships available for that course.
Okay, ma'am. Please look after that.
Nikki, you're receiving a lot of questions.
No, it's good. It's fine. It's nice.
So I think if there is any more question we can take, or otherwise we can leave the session. Or I'd like to request every of our students, like if you have any queries, to visit our office from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Or else you can drop us an email at uk@dolphinaducation.com.np.
Kindly share the that email link on the chat box, sir.
Rahul can share the email.
Yeah, I've just dropped the email address.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Just drop your documents so that you can, please drop your numbers also while sending us an email so that we can come back if there is any document required. So, Nikki, like, I would like to thank you for your precious time.
No worries. No,
For this
lovely to
session.
talk to you all. It's really nice to talk to you all actually. And
We'd love to see you in Plymouth shortly if you become contact.
okay, cool. Yeah, if you need anything, just drop me a line. And then if there's any questions that come up, just drop me a line and I'll get the answer back to you. And I really hope I can come out soon.
Sure. So I think that was for the session today.
Yeah, so that'll be in for our session. Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you so much for your time. We'll just wrap up here.
Cool. Yeah, anytime, let me know. Very happy to do it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so
bye
much.
bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much.